Simon Woodhouse has 1 month to complete this massive renovation project.
Saying that someone who doesn't understand quite what I'm doing, imagine taking your house, turning it upside down, and then changing your roof timbers.
So far, he's sweated blood and tears to remove the rotten frames and corroded iron that has crippled this stunning classic racing yacht.
It's 10 o'clock at night, on your own, it's cold, you're tired, you really want to go to sleep, you want to get to the pub, you want to do anything but fix that boat.
It's now a race against time if he wants to sail the boat before the end of summer.
How much am I paying you an hour to throw stones?
And the huge task that awaits him is replacing the 70-year-old planks that run the whole length of the boat.
I've got to burn some midnight oil, burn candles at both ends, as they say, and really get these timbers in. So what we're doing now is replacing partly nasty planks, but partly getting rid of a history of botch-ups to put some big, long, strong planks in, spreading our joints way away from each other so we keep strengthening the boat, which is why we're doing what we're doing. I think I've actually got 110 foot of planking here potentially to do, which is a fair mission.
Of all the jobs on this boat, replacing the planks is critical to the success of the project.
And so any hope of completing in the time scale is really going to require this sort of 24/7 working. I always said the frame's in June, the plank's in July. We're 13th of July, and a little bit, probably a week behind schedule for me.
Planking is a precise and time-consuming skill, which is why Simon is bringing in more help on other areas of the boat. First of all, the existing plank needs to be carefully removed, and then the gap that's left is measured. A new piece of wood is cut to measure and then offered up. Shaved to fit and then placed back in the gap once it's the right size. The key is to make sure that the planks are never too tightly fitted, bearing in mind that they will expand when the boat goes back in the water.
No, the learning curve's been phenomenal. I do believe in being practical with these old wooden boats. You're either going to pay somebody else to fix them or you've got to learn to fix them yourself, and there's some black arts in there. And you need to be taught by the old guys and how to do it. You can't get it out of the books.
Once they're happy the new plank is the right fit, it's clamped to the frames. A hole is then drilled through the frame and the plank in order for a nail to be driven through. A roove is then pushed on and most of the nail end is cut off. While Simon holds a dolly in place, the nail end is riveted fast over the roove.
I am having a fag.
The first plank's in, and there's only 7 more to go. Working at this pace, it's difficult to step back and remember why he took the project on in the first place. But even now, after all the late nights, Simon's trying to keep a perspective on the job.
The dream, the purpose, the point of it all. Yeah. Well, the dream for me, I guess, put it down to something attainable. Make it a loose thing. I don't want to say I want to be in Margarita in January next year. I don't want to say I will be in such a place. That's too specific. What I can say is that Tom talked about the boat as he first saw it in a beautiful, clear, crystal sea off of Coral Island. Right, there's a mission. Let's get it to somewhere that I can swim underneath my boat.
But until then, he'll have to make do with Kemp's shipyard in Southampton. It's 2 weeks before Simon needs to catch the tide in order to relaunch Keryl, and a remarkable transformation has occurred.
It's been manic the last week. So many little jobs. You do the big jobs, you get the frames in, you get the planks in, the structural work. I don't think, with the best will in the world, that the programme that anybody sees will ever capture quite those hours that go into it. this year, just keeping going when you really don't want to. And there's no adrenaline or excitement or happiness about that. It's just drudgery.
But the hard work has paid off, and the new frames and planks are now in place. All she needs now is a mast and a lick of paint.
Can I put you guys to...
Simon has managed to call in friends, family and anyone else willing to work for the minimum wage to meet his deadline.
Beautiful boat.
And Mark's pitched up to help with the caulking, the final touches to make the planks watertight.
Size is very important. You have to have the right tool for the job or it just won't fit in the gap. And you can't have it waggling around either. We like to oil it a bit, don't we?
You've got to oil it, and you've got to get the cotton the right size, you know, you have sort of super size and mini and whatever sizes it comes in. It's the same principle. You jam it in, it gets wet and swells up, and it doesn't leak.
In theory.
There's a week to go before Simon's deadline expires, and there's something that he's been meaning to do ever since he bought the boat.
Good evening.
Hello, sir. How you doing? John Clogg?
Yes?
Simon, bought your yacht, Keryl.
You didn't.
I did.
Hey, come in.
John Clark was a previous owner of the boat and currently owns all the historical documentation.
Well, I've got most of it all together.
Right. It's been a fantastic thing to meet John Clark and get this link and this sense of history to a past. This is incredible, John.
And that's
This
how
is
she was
this is
originally built.
Kingsley's writing his lines. This
Yes.
isn't a copy.
John has also kept the original plans from when Keryl was built.
I think it was 80,000 nautical miles passed under a keel in John Clark's ownership. That's a phenomenal mileage on a boat.
And it's only now that Simon feels that finally he's coming to the end of his own journey. One that has turned full circle and seen a once stunning boat beset with rot, rust and decay restored to its former beauty. But incredibly, at this late stage, there are still two elements that could put the whole project in jeopardy. With Simon applying antifouling at the last minute, there are still some unanswered questions about whether Keryl will float.
Just got to wait for the fountains to start now.
In a wooden boat of this age that's been out of the water for 3 months, the planks will have dried up and shrunk slightly, so it's normal for there to be some leakage until the planks take up again.
If you're still doing this in 2 weeks' time, I'll start to panic. Until then, this is the part of the process, yeah. It's the way it's done.
Keryl won't be ready to sail quite yet. This evening, Simon is stepping the mast and setting up the rigging. If all goes well, she might be ready to stretch her canvas by the weekend. Two days later, and just in time to catch the tide, Keryl's planks have expanded enough to stop the leaks, which has given Simon enough time to finish the rigging. But you know, I've got to say, something that really hit me today, as soon as we got out there and we got that main up and we shut that engine down, it was worth doing,
That's
Simon.
the moment, isn't it? That's
This
the point.
is a classy boat.
I've had a fantastic summer, Tom.
Have you?
I went through this transition of, I've got a project. I didn't want my beautiful boat to be a project, a work of labour. I wanted to go sailing this summer. And then we got to this point where I have got a project. I've got to fix it. Let's get on with it. And since that point, it's been a fantastic summer.
I tell you what, I bet you've found doing this who your mates really are.
You do. It's a true test. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
And the guys that got involved and actually physically got this boat in the water the last 2 weeks. You know, the guys on the boat, you'll hear Mikey and John, Ken, They put this boat in the water. Because we'd have still been on the shore if it wasn't for them.
Simon,
See what
it's
we get
been a
to.
joy. Put it there, mate.
Thank you. Cheers.
Simon's aim was to get this boat back in the water, and there's still interior work to do. But now he can go sailing and worry about the furniture down the line. Simon, this remarkable chap, is a man who started off with a dream. He didn't start off with a project, he just had a dream. He wanted to go sailing and cook wonderful food. He's been generous. He's led us into his life and he's led us into his heart a little bit, and we've seen the grief, the passion, the difficulty, the sheer slogging work that he's had to go through. I think it's inspirational what he's done, and I just hope that maybe a little bit of that inspiration might just rub off on you, because I tell you, it's rubbed off on me.